What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to the White Base crew as we continue our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin. Last time we concluded the flashback of the beginning of the 1-year war. The Battle of Loom played out, and General Revil pleads with EFF for the war to continue. In this episode, the White Base crew meets General Revil for the first time. Kai abandons his post, and he runs into a spy who is working with Char. So let's get into this. Char, in a Mad Angler class, watches as EFF makes its way through the United Kingdom. They make an attack on the rear fleet while underwater. In Northern Ireland, a young girl watches as White Base flies over her home. Like the anime, she relays this data to Char via balloon. Do what you gotta do, I guess? Also, this suggests that the tides of war can be changed by a strong gust of wind. What if it never reached him? Once Char realizes that Boone and the Mad Angler team is close to Belfast, he heads to the surface and takes out a sea lance to catch up with Boone's team. The sea lance goes fast in the water. That is really the only data about this. It's a sea shuttle. Also, if you haven't, check out our coverage of the battle tales of Flanagan Boone. Especially if you're into body horror. Revil is informed that 2 aircraft carriers and their amphibious assault ships were destroyed during Zeon's recent attack. 3 missile frigates and transports were also heavily damaged. Revil's fleet makes it to Belfast to see that White Base is already there. He says that ship and its crew will be vital. They disembark and head to the EFF base, where the crew runs into the Zeon spy trying to hawk her wares. They all salute as Revil comes to the meeting room. Because she was dealing with the children, Frau Bo shows up late. Bright gives her the death stare. Revil informs them that they will be a part of the counteroffensive at Odessa. Kai asks to go to the restroom, and Bright begins tearing out his hair. Kai isn't into taking orders from the loser of Loom. Oh snap. Boone gets a message informing them that the Trojan horse is located at Belfast, and that Char is making his way to them. He launches a GOG and preps for battle. Kai gets off White Base. He heads into the war-torn town to find the spy. She tells him her name is Miharu, and that she can put him up for a couple nights. Char and the Mad Angler team holds off on attacking as White Base and Revil's fleet is there. But the GOG that Boone sent out is going rogue and attacking White Base. Kai has dinner with Miharu and her brother and sister. She prods about White Base. The power goes out as action happens at the docks. Kai isn't really concerned. Miharu tells him to make himself comfortable on the couch while she heads out. While relaxing, he finds a gun. Bright calls the crew back to White Base as the GOG makes its attack. The GOG won't listen to orders, so Char takes this opportunity to attack. But Boone informs him that they only have a Zoc to work with. Char will launch in the Zoc. Amado is unable to launch in the Gundam because they started maintenance and wasn't expecting this attack. The Slugger team also drunkenly makes their way back to the ship. What's the situation here, guys? We gotta go, but I can't get this hooker off me. Screw it, bring her with us, we gotta go. Hayato and Jabjan in the gun tank begin firing on the GOG. Slugger's team is in the middle of all of this. Don't let one of those shells fall on you. Kai sees the fire happening and takes off. Miharu is meeting with a Zeon informant. He gives her an EFF uniform and a boatload of money and tells her to board White Base. The Mad Angler fires missiles. Bright retaliates with anti-air guns. Slugger asks Bright if he could take out the core fighter instead of the Jim to take out the ship shooting missiles. Bright orders him to use the Jim, and Slugger sarcastically obeys. Char sees Jim's launch, but not a sign of the Gundam. He allows his subordinate to pilot the Zoc instead. Miharu returns home. Her siblings told her that Kai left. She also informs her siblings that she will be going away for a while and gives them the money. Kai wanders off and reflects on all the times that the White Base crew called him a piece of shit. He sees the gun tank out in the open and decides to head back to White Base. The refugee camp in the area is attacked and many run towards the docks. Bright tells the crew to hold them back. During this chaos, Miharu, disguised as an EFF soldier, boards White Base. Kai makes it back to the ship and gets into the gun cannon. Maximilian was going to pilot it and is glad Kai came back. Maximilian is another kid from Side 7 and a delinquent like Kai. I believe he was one of the kids who helped steal a dump truck last episode. Zoc Pilots catches up with the GOG pilot. He tells the GOG to head back to the ship, but he continues to disobey orders. The GOG jumps out of the water and attacks the gun tank that is still out in the open. It grabs the gun tank from behind. When Kai comes in and helps, Kai shoots the GOG point blank, taking it down. The Zoc retreats. Sayla tells Bright that they are to head to Gibraltar. He says to print it out. He will read it later. That's kind of weird. Why? Because Miharu has to find it at his desk, silly. That's lazy writing. Of course, Kai finds her and hides her in his room, but Amado sees this. Bright tells Kai that he isn't going to take any of his nonsense anymore. He tells Miharu not to go snooping or he will get into trouble. EFF's main fleet makes its way to the Gibraltar Strait. The Gulf is a strategic point and the first step in taking back Odessa. They begin their attack. White Base is about 2 hours away from the operation. On their way, they find a civilian airplane going down and allow them to land. The civilians happen to be Flanagan Boone and his team. He tells one of his teammates not to talk because of his thick Xeon accent. In the dub, they represent this guy's accent as German, but I like to think it is New England posh.
Your watercraft is as ill-designed as you yourselves.
Good one, Chet.
Meanwhile, Char sends out a Grublo with 2 mobile suits who try to catch up. Bright tells Boone that they are doing the bare minimum repairs to get them home and they're billing them later for the fuel. He confines the crew to a waiting room. Boone tries to leave the room, but Jobjon stops him. He says he just wants to use the restroom. While in the bathroom stall, he contacts Miharu, who tells him that they are heading to Gibraltar. She also tells him that she hasn't seen the white mobile suit yet. Kai sees she is trying to make contact and realizes she has a signal. He knows a civilian ship just landed on board. He figures it out and runs to the deck where Boone's ship takes off. He tells the crew to shoot it down when a bomb goes off on White Base. The Grublo and mobile suits begin their attack. Bright tells Slegger to go out in the core fighter. Amado wants to go out too, but Bright tells him to stand by as it isn't designed for underwater use. Also, Oscar Dublin is there. Hi Oscar! As Kai preps the gun parry. Miharu wants to help him after seeing the war orphans help out. Slegger fights against the Zok and Zagok. Kai is finally ready and boards the gun parry. Hayato will be running gunner, while Amado will snipe from the gun parry. While talking to Hayato, Miharu sneaks on board. Uh-oh. Miharu watches on and begins getting PTSD. Amado and the Gundam begins firing. The Grublo notices the Gundam and surfaces. Amado goes against Bright's orders and goes into the water. Bright orders everyone to cover Amado. Kai begins firing on the mobile suits and the Grublo. He goes to fire his last missile and it is jammed. Miharu goes down to the bay to fix the issue. Oh, I know where this is going. She goes down and pulls the lever. Unlike the anime, this is a little more brutal. The missile causes her to fly out of the gun parry, like the anime, but in the manga, she hits her head on the rudder and probably died before hitting the water. Damn! Underwater, Amado drives his beam saber through the Grublo, taking out the pilot, Flanagan Boone. Bye, Boone. Your solo manga makes me believe you lived a very sad life. Back on White Base, Kai cries for a woman that no one but Amado knew about. Everyone just looks at him and goes, who? He talks to a ghost and wonders what was the purpose of her death. A platoon of gems are scouting a nearby island when suddenly they are attacked by one Zaku. This mysterious Zaku takes out the entire platoon. Here's a sight you never usually see. 3 Pegasus-class ships gather as they complete their takeover of Gibraltar. Lieutenant Colonel Judok gives a briefing to all the Pegasus-class crew members. Amado wonders what is up with this guy. Slegger lets him know that he is one of General Elrond's cronies and no one likes him. Slugger meets with Bright, who gives him a mission to find a Zaku taking out gems. Usually this wouldn't matter too much, but this one person seems to be causing a lot of trouble. Frau Bo tells Amado that she is training to take over the comms now that Sayla is piloting the core fighter. Amado heads down to the hangar, where Omer gives him a hard time for losing a leg in the last battle. He relaxes while waiting for repairs. He thinks to himself how Lieutenant Matilda, Ryu, and that girl Kai brought on don't have spare parts. There was only one, and they're gone. Amado dozes off. He wakes up hours later to see the Gundam is fixed. He goes to the comms to hear that Slegger's entire team has been taken out. Amado heads out in the Gundam. He finds Slegger down in his gym. Above them is a red Zaku. It is Char. The two begin fighting. He wants to end this now. Amado is able to push him back into a corner and take off the Zaku's head. Char jumps out of the unit and onto a convenient Dodai passing by. His subordinate, Mulligan, tells Char that his personal feelings towards the Gundam is getting in their way. He tells him to mind his own business and disbands the Mad Angler team as they prepare for Odessa. And that will do it for this episode. Flanagan's death really was uneventful in the manga. It was kind of uneventful in the anime too. I'm amazed he made such a good side manga character. Next time, the Battle of Odessa continues, and the Black Duo stars make their return. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to hold on tight when you are around rockets. Peace.